What is going on, you guys? It's AdamSlides, and today we have a highly requested video. This video is going to be an introduction to the piano video, piano 101, piano basics, whatever you want to call it. This video is going to cover everything you need to know when you're first learning how to play the keys, and things I did when I first started and things I still do today to improve my piano melodies and get better at the piano. So before we start, make sure to hit that like button, follow me on all social medias at AdamSlides, and stick around for the last tip because the last tip is the best tip. So let's get into it. Alright, so tip number 1 is learning all the names of the notes and chords. Now this might seem pretty simple, but it is the basics for learning the piano and getting better at the melodies and all things like that. I remember when I first started, I didn't really want to learn all the names of the notes and chords, and I didn't make any progress. So learn all the names of the notes and chords. I recommend you get a little book or something like that, like a physical copy of something you can practice with, and just go up and down the scales, up and down the chords, and practice all the chords and the notes. So one thing I like to do is this. So there I just went up and down the scale. I just played every note and played the chord version of that. Now you can mix it up and do only minor or only majors versions of that. The difference between a minor and a major chord is just that chord, that note in between. So right here we have an F minor. And the only difference between that and an F major is this right here. F major, F minor, F major. So we have a C minor, C major, G minor, G major. So once you've learned that, you can go up and down the scale, practice, and that's going to improve your hand speed and make you more comfortable transitioning in between chords. Alright, so the second thing, after you've learned all the names of the notes, chords, and scales, you're going to be able to practice chord progressions. Now, one thing I like to do with chord progressions is just play the root note that is in the scale. So let's say we play a C minor. I know which notes are going to go in that scale. And so I just play chords that have that as a root note. So that's one basic pattern, and that's just using those root notes, because those are all in this scale of C minor. Another thing I like to do is playing the same chord with a different root note. So let me show you what I mean. So right here, obviously, we have an F minor, and it goes down to the D sharp major. And what we're doing is alternating the bass notes. So we have the F, D sharp, C sharp. So instead of going F, D sharp, back to the F, we drop that third one down here because it adds a lot of suspense when we play it with the F minor. So that's one thing I like to do with my chord progressions, same chord, different root note, and just playing notes that are inside the scale. Alright, so tip number 3 is playing all the black notes together. Now there is some exceptions when you're playing bass notes and things like that, but for the most part, all the black notes are going to sound good together. Alright, so you saw on that last one that the bass note goes down to the B. Now that's one thing you'll see if you're only playing black notes. Sometimes you're going to play this B chord right here or this E right here. So that's one tip I want to do if I'm not trying to get too complicated on the keys, but just trying to get like a general layout or feeling of what I'm trying to go for. And the same works for the white notes too. So instead of playing all black notes, play all white notes. Alright, so the fourth tip, we're going to be going over counter melodies and how to play them on top of your melodies. The key thing to do this is keep it in the scale and keep it simple. So don't go too complicated, things like that. Just keep it simple and it'll sound good. Alright, so once I've laid down that chord progression, I'm just going to find out what scale we're in and play a counter melody in that scale. Alright, so this is a pretty good chord progression and counter melody, and all I did was keep it in the scale. And on notes such as this, I changed the root note. Instead of it being an A sharp, I dropped it to the G, and that adds a lot of tension and things like that. So that's how I did that. Alright, so the fifth tip I have is one of the biggest and one thing I do a lot, and it is playing along to big songs. Now this is very important for a couple reasons. First of all, it teaches you the scales. So if you're playing along to a big song and you find out which notes sound good, it's probably in a scale. So you just learn a new scale by doing that. Not only that, but it also teaches you what style the artist likes. So if you're trying to get a beat to a big artist, maybe just download one of his songs, then play some counter melodies on top of one of his songs. It's going to get you a vibe and a feel for what that artist likes and what style he's going for. Not only that, but it also helps speed up your playing. If you're playing along with the track, then you're going to have to play fast, and it's going to improve your hand speed and things like that. So number 5, I definitely suggest it. It's going to help you a lot playing counter melodies and just getting a good idea of what sounds sound good together when you layer them. Alright, you guys, that is it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment below your favorite tip and comment below for any video ideas you want me to do next. Make sure to subscribe, like, check out those links in the description. There's a bunch of free MIDI kits and other videos. Make sure to follow me on all social medias, and I'm out.
AdamSlides, make the beat slide.